Landing a jet on an aircraft carrier is one of the most daunting tasks in aviation. It has all the challenges of landing on a runway, except the target is significantly smaller, and the cost of getting it wrong is steep. It raises the question, how big a plane can you land on one of these floating fortresses before you meet the limits of what's possible? Aircraft carriers are, as a rule, massive warships designed to carry, launch, and receive military aircraft. Their sizes, weights, and carrying capacity can vary. The USS America, a U.S. Navy supercarrier that was built in the 1960s and decommissioned in 1996, was capable of carrying 30 aircraft. The USS Gerald R. Ford, commissioned in 2017, is capable of carrying 80. But they all have one thing in common: they're not even close to the size of a normal airport runway. According to the U.S. Navy website, aircraft carriers' landing strips are, on average, around 300 feet long. Compare that to most international airport runways, which measure at least 6,000 feet long, and you can get an idea of how precise a task it is to land on an aircraft carrier. Of course, international airports play host to gigantic passenger aircraft, so they need a lot of extra space. That's not the case for the kind of military aircraft you'll see landing on a carrier. Most of these aircraft are relatively small, less than 60 feet long, and with wingspans under 50 feet wide. They also get a lot of assistance on the takeoff thanks to aircraft catapults that use high-pressure steam to sling aircraft forward to take flight. Throughout the years, though, some aircraft carriers have seen unconventional landings from planes that were not originally meant to land on them. The biggest of these is the C-130 Hercules, which stands at 97 feet long and 132 feet wide in wingspan. This is one of the most impressive military transport aircraft in history, and its carrier landing was no small feat.
The first production C-130 took off on its maiden flight on April 7, 1955. Only about 800 feet of runway were required for the takeoff.
The C-130 Hercules was conceived and built by aerospace manufacturer Lockheed. It was initially designed to transport cargo and troops, as well as used for medical evacuations. The C-130 first took flight in 1954 and has remained in use ever since, making it one of the oldest aircraft still in service. During the Vietnam War, the Navy did experiments to find out whether they could use the Hercules as an aircraft to deliver cargo from one carrier to another while in the middle of the ocean. Tests took place in 1963 from the U.S. Forrestal. Only a few modifications were made to the C-130 Hercules to assist with the landing. Technicians fitted it with anti-skid brakes, removed the underwing fuel pods, and smoothed down the aircraft's nose to make a more compact fitment for a landing gear. According to Joseph Earl Dabney's Herc, Hero of the Skies, during one test of the C-130 landing, the plane's wingspan cleared the flight deck control tower of the Forrestal by just under 15 feet. It was a monumental achievement for an aircraft that was not at all designed for the task. In a C-130 Hercules progress report film from 1955, the plane was described as only requiring 2,000 feet of runway to land at the conclusion of its first flight. Turns out, you can get away with a lot less. In total, the C-130 Hercules managed to make 29 touch-and-go landings, 21 unarrested full-stop landings, and 21 unassisted takeoffs on the Forrestal. Although the plane didn't end up being used as a carrier cargo transport, as the tests were meant to measure, it still made aviation history. To this day, the C-130 Hercules holds the record for the largest aircraft to ever land and take off from a carrier.